born in Mexico, San Luis Potosí. I came to Texas when I was 3 years old, and I've grown up in Dallas, Texas. I got into art through graffiti, and I started doing graffiti around the age of 15, 16 years old. And that's kind of how I got into artwork, and then from there I took it a little bit more serious and studied at UT Arlington, where I got my bachelor's degree, and then studied at UT San Antonio, where I got my master's degree in painting. So I never looked back after that. Yeah. Well, I had heard a lot about it before from other artists, and I met Sam last year, and he was a very nice guy, and looked at all his work online, and I really respected all the artists that he was bringing in, the quality of work that they were producing here, or they are producing here, and you know, it was a no-brainer, and I was really honored when Sam contacted me to do the project. I couldn't say no to him. I think that I learned a lot. I figured out that, you know, my mind doesn't work the way a printmaker or a screen print person works. I wanted to do things that didn't work right away as a screen printer, and it was interesting to get out of my comfort zone for a little bit and try to produce something, and then at the same time work with printers that know what they're doing and are very professional about what they do. And it was interesting to see how the process and how that worked and how my work was going to be translated into printmaking. And hopefully in the future I can do more prints with Serie or with Sam, and I think that this is only the beginning of something interesting. I think that, you know, this process allows me to communicate with people that have been more in the academic setting, art historians, or they're art painters, printmakers, etc. And then also it allows me to connect with an audience that may not have that same background, but is somewhat interested in street art or is involved with street art. And so I think that allows me to combine two worlds and, you know, create a dialogue that probably didn't exist 20, 30 years ago. So I find that my work can be a connection or an entry point for young kids that have never seen an art show or have never been to a museum. You know, my art or my experiences may allow them to get into that. And then those more experienced people in the academic setting who've never known about street art or graffiti can kind of get into that world also. So it's kind of a mixture of worlds and allowing everyone to experience them at the same time. My imagery in the print that I'm working with has to do with the idea of what illegal aliens may be. I think as a kid I always heard the term, and my mind would just wander, and I always wanted to know what these illegal aliens looked like. And so in my mind I imagined these creatures, these people. I didn't know what they looked like. And so now as an adult, you know, I know exactly what they look like and who they are. But, you know, I still want to create these people that I imagined as a kid, and I'm able to do that through the imagery in my artwork. So it's kind of interesting. I'm kind of dealing with the issue and maybe not force-feeding it to the viewer at the same time. My influences range from artists from the Renaissance, artists from the Cubistic era, you know, everyone that you can find in the art books. But, you know, I think a lot of bigger young artists that influence me today are like Barry McGee, Revoke, who's from California. Who else? There's a guy named Dalek, also another graffiti artist. But, you know, more traditional painters and more contemporaries, you know, like Alice Neal, Lucian Freud, Philip Guston. You know, I like to just really look at these painters, some more figurative, some a little bit more abstract, and some that kind of mix the two worlds. And I think that's kind of where my work's headed right now. Figurative, abstract, cartoony, and, you know, very freeing as far as my process goes. So I don't try to work off one reference image. I like to allow myself to kind of explore a little bit more, and artists that do that are mainly the ones that inspire me. Well, this year I have a few shows planned. Ever since I've been involved with the Cheech Marin collection, that's really kept me busy. I have an art show in the Hamptons out in the East Coast, 2 art fairs in Houston, and then 2 solo shows next year, one in Los Angeles and one in Dallas, Texas. And aside from that, more mural projects for me around Dallas, Texas, and hopefully any place that wants a mural, I'll do it pretty much. So I hope that my work can continue to grow and develop. I mean, I've gotten a feel for some museum shows now that I've had about I've been in maybe 6 museums now, and mainly group shows, but I'd like to be more present in that atmosphere and maybe more larger bodies of work in that atmosphere. So I think that being in those institutions kind of creates a sense of accomplishment in some viewers' eyes, but you know, I feel like I'm accomplished anyways, and as long as I keep creating, I'll be okay, I think. Yeah.